Hi there, my name is Breanne Dunphy. I've been a social worker here for several years, and I got my master's at USF. And just before we get started, I wanted to let you know about our confidentiality, confidentiality policy, and that is basically if you try to harm yourself or anyone else, I have to say something about that. Also, I am a mandated reporter, so anything involving child abuse or neglect or anything like that, I need to speak up. But other than that, anything we say is completely confidential, so go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Anna. I am currently a senior at USF, majoring in social work. Kind of want to get into behavioral health a little bit, maybe some mental health. I haven't personally, I guess my parents have gone through 2 different divorces, and I feel like mentally that has had a big effect on me and kind of has made me see things differently and open my eyes to different things that are going on. And
Yeah. What ways would you say that has changed your opinion on like your life or others?
well, the biggest thing is probably relationships. I've gone a long time with not being in a relationship. I've had a couple serious relationships and kind of just gave up on them because I didn't want to go through hardships like I watched my parents go through. So kind of opening my heart and thinking that maybe there is love out there somewhere is something that is very hard for me. It's hard for me to accept, I guess, people being nice because I was in a home where it didn't really happen. There wasn't that like romantic or anything like that, I guess.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your home life growing up.
Well, I grew up with kind of just craziness going on in general. My parents got divorced when I was 8. At that time, I had a brother that was 2 and a sister that was 4. So I kind of had to grow up right then because I felt like I needed to protect my sister and brother from what was going on because at that point I was old enough to know that they were fighting and that things weren't going right, and I kind of just wanted to shelter them. So I feel like that made me grow up really fast.
That sounds like it would be a struggle, especially at such a young age. So how you were 8 when your parents got divorced, or?
Yes, I was 8.
Okay. And so how did you feel after that?
Kind of relief at first, just because I was sick of the fighting, but once it actually set in, I realized that I was going to have to go every other week to their houses, and that I think also took a really big toll on me going back and forth. I don't really think that's healthy for any child. I do think you need both of your parents, but the back and forth just didn't work for me anyway. It just was kind of a disaster.
It sounds like you'd be very torn in a situation like that. So did you stay with your mom or your dad, or what was that like?
Well, until I was probably 11, I went back and forth, and then I decided that I was going to live with my mom full time.
Okay.
So I moved in with her full time, and that lasted until I was 16. And she had been remarried at that point and decided that she was going to get a divorce. Well, for me, that enough was enough, and I didn't want to go through it again. So I moved in with my dad and my stepmom, and I've been living with them ever since I moved to college. So things have kind of looked up a little bit since I moved in with my dad, but there's definitely a barrier between my mom and I now after that decision.
Right. So how old were you when your mom got remarried?
I was 13, I believe. Yes.
Okay. And so did you like the guy that she married, or?
I did. I'm actually at this point closer with him than I am with
really?
her. Yes. Kind of took a turn for the worst. Grew up kind of with my mom being my best friend, and she kind of just decided to drop off the face of the earth after a while. So it's just kind of been back and forth, and decided that I could still call my stepdad, even though he's not. He was more important to be in my life at this point than she was because she wasn't being a parent. So.
Right. So tell me a little bit. You said that your mom kind of dropped off the face of the earth. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, we decided to move to Florida, which was a very big adjustment because when I was living with them to begin with, we lived on a farm. We farmed, we had farm animals, all of it. So when I turned 14, my stepdad and my mom moved us to Florida. That lasted about a year and a half, and then they decided they were going to get a divorce, and she decided to lean a little more towards alcohol and drugs than caring for her children. So that has also taken a huge toll on me and kind of also opened my eyes to all the things that go on in the world, because I never thought that would have happened in my life.
Right. And what kind of a role would you say you played during your mom's divorce when you were 16 and you had siblings who were a bit younger?
I definitely took the mom role, and I kind of don't think I've gotten out of it. I look out for them all the time, and I seem to do the mom role with everybody that I'm with now, my friends, even my boyfriend, which probably shouldn't, probably should let him do his own thing, but I seem to always look out for people now, and that I think has played a huge role in me going into social work, just making sure kids aren't in that situation, because I know what it's like.
So give me an example of how it's affected one of your relationships.
Well, I would say probably my senior year of high school, I started kind of seeing a guy, and I feel like I couldn't completely open up to him because I didn't want to get attached. Because I felt like if I got attached, then he'd leave, because I watched my mom leave, and I just feel like that even now, with the boyfriend I have now, it's hard for me to fully attach, and I think that's my biggest problem.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the relationship you have with your current boyfriend.
With my current boyfriend, he's amazing. I don't know, I wake up to good morning text every morning, which is really sweet, and he does pretty much everything for me, and it's just different. It's a different relationship than I'm used to having.
It's a healthy relationship?
Definitely is a healthy relationship, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So do you think any of the motherly qualities that you got from the divorce may have played into your relationship at all, or?
I would say so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like I try and give him guidance when I shouldn't even, but I just feel like that's something that he's going to have to get used to, because I don't think it's ever going to leave.
Right. That's pretty hard to stray away from that when
Yeah.
you grew up with that kind of mindset after watching what your parents went through.
Definitely.
So,
It's just, I don't know. It just is what it is, I guess.
yeah. So tell me, going back to when you moved in with your dad and your stepmom, tell me a little bit about that. Was he married at that time when you moved in, or did he get married after you moved in? Or?
He had been married. He actually got married the same year my mom did.
Oh.
He got married to somebody that I didn't like, and still, well, I guess when I had moved in with him, I still didn't like her. But I had decided that I loved my dad, and that's where I needed to be. And now I am closer with my stepmom than I thought I would ever be. I pretty much just call her mom now. So I guess when I was younger, I should have just tucked it up and dealt with it. But I don't feel like I feel like I was pushed in the wrong direction, maybe, to not be involved with my dad, even though I should have been.
Well, it sounds like your relationship with her really matured.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the things that kind of steered you away from that religion or that relationship before, when you were younger.
Well, I just feel like she had 2 kids coming into the relationship with my dad. So he had 3 and she had 2. Well, it was always her kids and his kids. We were never their kids, and I felt like all the time they would get treated way differently than we would, or she would just completely ignore us, or there would be just multiple things, and I just feel like she wasn't ready to take on the relationship, and that's the way she acted the way she did. But I could be wrong. I don't know. She's completely different now, so.
Okay. So what were her kids like? Did you guys get along? Was it kind of a hard transition for you? Tell me a little bit about that.
We got along really well for the most part. Her oldest, he is 19, so he's 2 years younger than me. So we were always kind of close because we're the oldest. But he was a really big troublemaker throughout childhood, so he was sent away quite a couple different times, which for me was really hard since we were so close. But the youngest, he was kind of like my little buddy. Him and the son that my dad brought into the relationship, they're a month apart, so they have always been really close. So we've kind of all just accepted the fact that we're all related. We're all sister and brothers. That's just how it is. Because, I mean, they've been together since my brothers were 2, and they're now 16. So it's been quite a while that we've all been together.
Sounds like you guys really formed a family unit there, so
Yes.
that's definitely important. So tell me a little bit about how things changed between you and your stepmom.
Well, I think just one day I decided that I needed to quit worrying about whatever I either thought was going on or was going on and make it a positive relationship because I needed the mother figure, and I think she kind of just realized that she couldn't act the way she was acting, and it has just kind of progressed from there.
Yeah. And so how was it to kind of have your stepmother kind of take over that motherly role for you since
It was
your
really
other
hard.
one was, yeah.
And it's still hard. It's really hard to accept the fact that I have to accept somebody else being my mom because your mom's your mom, and it's really, I don't know, it's even hard to talk about. That's probably the worst thing to talk about. Sometimes I talk about it freely, but it's actually horrible.
Sounds like it would be a very difficult thing to talk about because you want the mother that raised you and gave birth to you to be the one that sticks around, and that's very. So does your birth mom live in Florida or?
She does not. Currently, I don't know where she's at.
Oh,
Yes. So it's kind of, we have no contact with her. Me, my brother, or my sister. She lost custody to her youngest because she had a child when she got remarried. She lost custody of him a year ago. Luckily, we still have contact with him. We still see him, but she is kind of just, we don't really know. She goes from place to place, and sometimes she has a phone, sometimes she doesn't. So it's kind of up in the air.
it sounds like it's really frustrating and depressing.
It is.
Because you can't even reach her. But I think that having that bond with your stepmother is really, really valuable to you.
Yeah, it's definitely helped, especially coming to college, because I can't always just call my dad about everything and say, hey, guess what, this happened this weekend. No, that's something you call your mom and tell her.
Right.
So it's been really nice to still have somebody to call and be like, hey, guess what, or this guy was really cute, like, I
Yeah.
should tell you about him. So it's definitely been nice to have somebody there.
It does sound like it's been nice for you. That's
Yeah.
good. So, like on Mother's Day, do you ever have a rough time with that, or are you just excited to celebrate with your stepmom?
Pretty much every holiday is rough. It's okay. So, especially, I guess, Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving was kind of the time that we quit talking to her, or is at least, like 4 years ago when it all happened, was the time that's when it was going on. It was around Thanksgiving when she just kind of, out of the blue, just decided she was done raising kids. So Thanksgiving is probably the worst, but Mother's Day is just kind of.
How does that make you feel? Because Thanksgiving is coming up soon. So is that's a hard time of year for you. So what do you usually do to cope with that, or do you have a coping mechanism?
I just spend a lot of time with family and trying to ignore the fact that she's not there. This will be the first year that I will be spending it with her side of the family, actually, since it's all happened. Normally I am with my dad's side or my stepmom's side of the family, but I have decided to have Thanksgiving with my mom's side of the family. Even though she won't be there, I feel like I need to recreate that bond that has been lost because we don't go over there because it's my mom's side of the family, not my dad's.
Right.
So
do you get along with that side of the family then, or is it just kind of awkward?
I do. I get along with that side of the family really well. I actually, every time I go back to my hometown, I stay with my mom's mom, but my aunt, we've really lost contact, so I would like to kind of rebuild that relationship if I can.
That sounds like it'd be a very valuable connection to have.
Yes.
So who do you particularly get along with on that side of family? Who do you usually talk to, if anyone, really?
Probably my oldest cousin, which I guess I'm still the oldest, but he's just turned 20, so him and I are really close.
Oh,
we
yeah.
grew up together, so I guess I confide in him a lot if I have problems or if he has problems. We're both going to college. We both are out of the house now, and I feel like it's a lot easier to talk to him than my younger cousins, I guess, that haven't really.
Right. So how often do you guys get to talk?
Not very often.
Not very
He's really busy. He works full time. He lives like an hour from here probably, so we don't. He's really busy. He's more busy than me, and I am busy, so.
Yeah, I bet you are. You're going to school and Are you working at all?
Yes, I work 40 hours a week, so but it's kind of a stress reliever going to work. But I'd rather go to work, I guess, than not go to work. I've been working since I was 16, so not going to work is really weird for me.
Yeah, so where do you work exactly?
I work at a daycare, and I love it. I love working with kids. They're so optimistic, and I feel like that's kind of what I need in my life. Somebody to show me that there's still happiness, I guess, in life, and you don't always have to worry about everything that's going on.
Are there ever any times when it's difficult, though, to work with kids? Because you see a lot of parents, moms around, you hear kids talking about their parents a lot. Is that difficult, or is it just kind of like you're happy for them? Or
I think it's refreshing. I think it's refreshing knowing that it's not every parents have divorced, I guess.
Yeah.
That there's still hope, even for my relationship when I get married someday, that there won't have to be a divorce.
Right. And do you think that fear might keep you from having a more intimate relationship with your current partner?
Definitely. I think it already is, so I'm trying to work through that, but...
Yeah. And what ways do you think it might hold you back? I mean, a fear there?
Yeah,
maybe?
A fear of attachment and him just leaving, I guess. I think I definitely have an attachment problem because, I don't know, I guess when your mom just decides to leave your life, it kind of
messes with you.
Yeah.
I could imagine so. Does he know about any of that?
No.
No? Okay. Well, do you ever plan on telling him anything about it?
I mean, he knows some, just because we went to high school together, so he kind of knew the situation, but we haven't really gone in depth with it, just because, I don't know, I feel like it's a hard conversation to have with him.
It is. It's one of those things that's definitely next level stuff.
Yeah.
How long have you two been dating?
It's been almost a month, so it's still fresh. I mean, we've been talking for probably like 4 months, but it's official, so...
Right. So it's still new.
It's still very new, yes.
Playing out,
yeah.
Right? Well, so what does he do?
He works on cars. I don't know his specific title. Kind of like a mechanic, but he went farther than that because he actually went to school. And he also coaches high school baseball, so...
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on, too.
Yeah, he's busy a lot. But
it sounds like everyone's busy in your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, in a way. So going back to your cousin, kind of about your age, and you say you guys get along, but you guys don't talk very often. How often would you like to talk with him if you could?
Well, I'd like to hear from him like every couple of weeks just to know what he's doing because I like to check up on him just as much as he likes to check up on me. But I feel like we kind of get lost in our own things a lot of times and don't connect and see what each other are doing. But
right. But just knowing, you have a support system is always
that
nice.
He's there. If I call him and say, hey, I need something, he'll be there. So
that's good. It's important to have that kind of relationship, and it sounds like you really feel close to him, and that's always important.
Definitely.
So are you excited about this Thanksgiving, or are you nervous?
I'm excited, but I don't really know what my plans are completely, I guess. I know that I'm doing lunch at my aunt's house and probably supper with my boyfriend's parents, which is I'm a little nervous about.
Get to meet his family? Or
I know them already, but I haven't met them or I haven't talked to them for probably 2 years. So it'll be interesting.
It's going to be a different transition, too, because you're his girlfriend, so you're going to meet them in a different way.
Yeah, we went from being friends